All right, folks, let's cut the fluff. Toyota just dropped something no one saw coming, a compact electric SUV with a nearly 75 kilowatt-hour battery, about 290 miles of EPA range, dual-motor AWD, and the kicker, fast charging from 10 to 80% in just 30 minutes thanks to the NACS port. Yep, the same golden ticket that plugs you right into Tesla's supercharger wonderland across America. And get this, the starting price? Around 30 grand. Now, 30 grand in the US car market, you know what that means. That's Honda CR-V money. That's RAV4 LE territory. Heck, it's Civic Si with a few options. And suddenly, Toyota shows up with an all-wheel drive EV that'll do 290 miles. Translation, you could drive from Los Angeles to Las Vegas, lose your shirt on blackjack, and still have enough juice left to blast the AC on the way home. And here's the real jaw-dropper. Toyota, yes, the same Toyota everyone's been roasting for dragging their feet on EVs, picked Texas of all places to film the official launch. This isn't some shiny concept car gathering dust at an auto show. This is the real deal, heading straight into US showrooms. So the million-dollar question, at this price, is Toyota throwing down the gauntlet at Tesla's Model Y? Or at the very least, giving the Kia Niro EV and Hyundai Kona EVs some serious insomnia? You're watching Carcry. Drop your take in the comments. If you had 30 grand today, would this Toyota make you rewrite your shopping list? From a distance, this new Toyota EV SUV looks like someone dragged a Prius into the gym, made it squat heavy for a few months, and then sent it to the runway wearing a hammerhead outfit. Yup, Toyota actually calls it the hammerhead design, a shark nose, razor-thin LED headlights looking half futuristic, half ready to snarl at a Model Y parked next to it. Now, size check, about 177.9 inches long, 73.6 wide, 63.8 tall. So yeah, smaller than the BZ4X, but right in the strike zone if you've been eyeing a Kia Niro EV or Hyundai Kona EV. It's the kind of crossover Americans love, compact enough for city parking, but still roomy enough for suitcases, a dog, and maybe even a couple of snowboards for that weekend run to Lake Tahoe. But here's where it gets juicy, the aerodynamics. Toyota didn't just sculpt this thing to look sharp. The drag coefficient? Expected to land around 0.28 to 0.29 CD, which means more range saved on the highway. Translation, when you're cruising the I-95 from New York all the way down to Florida, that hammerhead nose slices air smooth, without draining the battery like an iPhone dying in a Chicago winter. And here's the kicker, this is the first Toyota EV SUV in the US that actually looks normal. Not a confusing concept, not a lifted sedan, not the half-and-half weirdness of the old CHR. Just a well-proportioned crossover that can stand next to a Model Y or Niro EV without feeling out of place. So here's Carcry's question. If you had to pick a Trader Joe's grocery getter that can also blast 300 miles on the interstate, are you taking Toyota's hammerhead face? Or is the sloping coupe back of the Model Y still too sexy to ignore? Drop it in the comments. We'll keep score on which side wins. All right, let's get into the make or break part of any EV in America, the battery and charging. Toyota dropped in a 74.7 kilowatt-hour pack, not some monster like a Lucid Air, but not the sad little shoebox you find in cheap city EVs either. The result? About 290 miles of EPA range. Translation, you can drive from San Francisco to Los Angeles, swing by In-N-Out for a burger, then keep cruising down to San Diego without begging AAA for a tow. But here's the real jackpot. It's rocking the NACS port. In the US, plugging into the wrong CCS station and hunting for adapters has been the running joke nobody laughs at. Toyota skipped that headache and went straight NACS, which means their customers get the golden key to Tesla's supercharger kingdom. Over 15,000 stations across the country. Planning a road trip cross-state? Just pull up the map and boom, chargers everywhere. Now, what about charging speed? 10 to 80% in 30 minutes. That's just enough time to hit the restroom, grab a Mountain Dew, doom scroll Instagram, and by the time you're back, bam, another 200 miles in the tank. For American drivers, that right there is the definition of convenience. Toyota also brags about thermal management for the pack. In plain English, your range won't collapse when it's freezing in Minnesota or when the Arizona sun is melting asphalt. And yes, it's got plug-in charge. No laggy apps, no RFID cards, just plug in and go. Anyone who's fought with a buggy charger in a Walmart parking lot knows this feature is worth more than a year of free Netflix. So here's the question, Carcry's throwing it at you. With this kind of charging speed and range, is it finally enough to make you ditch gas for EV life? Or are you still team gas because you secretly love the smell of premium fuel in your garage? Drop it in the comments. Carcry is keeping score. Now we're getting into the spicy part, powertrain and performance. Toyota didn't go half-baked here. This EV runs a dual-motor AWD setup, one up front, one in the back. Together, we're talking somewhere around 214 to 250 horsepower. Instant torque, no revs to wait for like a gas engine. Translation, hit the pedal and this SUV shoots onto the interstate like a pack of high schoolers who just saw a free pizza sign. The best part? Power distribution. Toyota clearly learned from the bZ4X flop. This time, the software gets smarter. Front and rear motors talk to each other, shifting torque depending on the road. Rain, light snow, whatever, the grip is there. If you live in Colorado, heading uphill for skiing in the morning and bombing down the freeway in the afternoon, this system's gonna feel way more confident than some front-wheel drive city EV. And regen? Actually fun to use. Toyota slapped paddle shifters behind the wheel, so you control it on the fly. Want heavy regen for one-pedal driving in city traffic? Tap the paddle. Want to coast smooth like you're cruising through the Florida Keys? Tap the other way. No digging through menus, just flick your fingers. Acceleration numbers aren't official yet, but with this AWD setup, expect 0 to 60 in the 6 to 7 second range. Not drag strip bragging rights, but definitely enough to make the neighbor's Camry pout. And let's be honest, in daily American traffic, 6 seconds is already quicker than most cars around you. So picture this, Monday morning, freeway clogged, everybody crawling. Wouldn't you want this Toyota to just tap the pedal and zip past a line of thirsty gas SUVs? If the answer's yes, drop a zoom in the comments. Carcry will instantly know who the speed freaks are in the squad. Now let's step inside the cabin, where Toyota wants to prove that 30 grand doesn't mean 2-star motel interior. Front and center is a wide 14-inch touchscreen running Toyota's audio multimedia system. Wireless Apple CarPlay and Android Auto are built in. Translation, no more plugging in lightning cables and tangling up the steering wheel like it's 2012. The digital cluster is clean, showing battery, speed, maps, and yes, even your regen status. Plus, plug and charge is on board. Just plug the car into a station and everything, authentication, payment, happens automatically. No fumbling for cards, no apps. And in America, where people hate red tape, that's a big win. Safety tech? Toyota drops in Safety Sense 3.0, adaptive cruise, lane tracing, forward and rear collision alerts. It won't turn you into a robotaxi, but it does make LA traffic jams way less painful. Hands resting on the wheel and just breathe. Interior materials? No, it's not Lexus-grade leather, but it's tough, easy to wipe, ready for kids with ketchup fingers or pets leaving surprises. Rear seats fold flat, cargo space swallows a couple XL Samsonite suitcases. Or if you're in Texas, yes, you can load up a mini barbecue smoker. One cool detail, paddle shifters for regen right behind the steering wheel. Makes the cabin feel sportier. Some folks will ask, wait, Toyota copying BMW now? But no, it's just practical. A little fun, a little efficiency. So here's the big Carcry question. Compared to the Tesla Model Y, which feels as minimal as an IKEA dorm room, which team are you on? Team Toyota, with real buttons you can actually press? Or Team Tesla, flat and sleek, but you tap a screen just to adjust the vents? Drop your answer below, so Carcry knows. Are you button pushers or screen swipers? Now let's talk about the neighbors, aka the competition. Toyota's EV SUV rolling into the US in 2025 is like a freshman walking into a frat house party, instantly surrounded by upperclassmen named Tesla, Hyundai, and Kia, all testing if you've got the guts to stay. First up, Tesla Model Y, still the sales king in America, over 310 miles of range, superchargers everywhere, and a starting price around $43K. Toyota wants to fight that? They're coming in at $30K flat, going in underdog style, aimed squarely at the mainstream crowd. Folks who don't care about 0 to 60 in 4 seconds, they just need to commute to work, maybe hit a road trip without draining the savings account. Next, Hyundai Ioniq 5 and Kia EV6. These two pack 800-volt architecture, charge from 10 to 80% in just 18 minutes. Toyota, still on 400V, faster than before, but nowhere near that level. The big question, will Americans pick lightning-fast charging or the safety net of Toyota's dealer network that's literally as common as Starbucks? And trust me, in America, you can find Starbucks on every corner, but a working fast charger better bring a second map. Then we've got the Chevy Equinox EV, priced around 34 to 36 grand, roughly 300 miles of range, built on GM's Ultium platform. Chevy's playing the Made in America card. Toyota? They've got the global rep, but here comes the tricky part. Hey, does a Toyota EV qualify for that sweet $7,500 federal tax credit? The answer depends on where it's built and federal red tape. Translation? Toyota needs more than just good cars. They've got to play the politics of domestic production. So where does Toyota actually shine? Dealer network, bulletproof reliability, after-sale service. Americans already bought millions of Camrys, Corollas, Highlanders. Toyota just needs to drag those loyalists into the EV era. Weak spots, late to the game, slower charging, EV credibility still unproven. And here's Carcry's closing punch. This EV war isn't just about how far your car goes on a charge. It's about which one won't leave you begging for an Uber after 5 years because the battery gave up. Toyota has decades of hybrid durability, but do Americans believe they can pull off the same magic in a full EV? So tell us, yes, trust Toyota, or nope, Elon still rules. Drop your vote in the comments. All right, folks, time to wrap up today's show, and we gotta talk about Toyota's little trust issue. In America, when you say Toyota, people think Camry, Tacoma, Highlander, cars that run for hundreds of thousands of miles with nothing more than oil changes and brake pads. But EVs? That's a whole different ballgame. Viewers have been asking, Toyota 2025, are they finally serious about selling EVs or just teasing us again like the past few years? To be fair, Toyota did drag their feet. They were way too loyal to hybrids. But now, they're dropping a mid-size EV SUV, around 30 grand, nearly 290 miles of range. If they pull this off, it could flip their global image overnight. But here's Carcry's warning. America is a brutal EV market. Drivers here are used to over-the-air updates, phone apps that actually work, and that feeling that my car is basically an iPhone on wheels. If Toyota shows up with bulletproof car, laggy app, sorry, American buyers will swipe left real fast. Still, Toyota's ace in the hole, their dealer network. Nobody wants to wait 3 weeks just to fix a window motor. Think about it. In Nebraska or Montana, a Tesla service center could be 100 miles away. But Toyota, they're everywhere. That's a massive strategic card. So, picture this. If Toyota really keeps the $30,000 sticker, delivers a battery that lasts, and throws in a 10-year peace of mind warranty package, then tell me, will the Model Y, Equinox EV, Ioniq 5 still be laughing? Viewers, drop it in the comments. Do you believe Toyota can stage a comeback in America? And if today's breakdown made you laugh, think, or go wow, hit that subscribe button so you don't miss the next time we carve up another shiny new model. This is Carcry, where cars aren't just cars, they're four-wheeled comedy shows for the whole country.